Blue Lock is a sports anime and manga about a group of 300 soccer players striving to be the best striker in the world, and they do so through the Blue Lock program, which is created by this guy Kenpachi Ego. And basically the main idea is that you develop your ego, which develops your confidence, and then you strive for perfection. Now, in particular, what I'm going to be talking about is chapter 111 called Flow. So I'll first go over the chapter, and then I will show some real life applications and show how you can enter the flow state in reality. It's actually quite straightforward, and the chapter puts it in a quite straightforward way, but we'll go over it and then give some examples anyways. So the chapter starts off with Kenpachi Ego, and he's explaining to the remaining Blue Lock members how to enter this state of flow, because that's the last thing that they need to unlock in order to be the best soccer players that they can be. They already have the skill, they already have the discipline, now they just need that extra little edge, which is entering this state of flow, the state of calm, focus, and alertness. It starts off with him saying, when a person focuses on something, they can get so absorbed in their work that they don't notice the passage of time. Taking enjoyment in the process, their brains enter a state of excitement. To put it simply, that's flow. It's possible for a shogi player to experience it during a match, and it's also possible for a lady working the register on her part-time job to experience it. Programming, mountain climbing, musical performances, other artistic expressions, regardless of the scale of the activity, it is something that can occur to anyone. And this state can also occur in sports. Football is not an exception. Think back, the moment you broke out of your shells after coming here. You must have experienced it, a moment in which you put your everything in a play. Then Ego goes on, saying, the next step in development lies here. So that begs the question, how does one enter a state of flow? There are several conditions, but the one I want to discuss the most is challenge-centered focus. This involves attempting an objective at a suitable level of difficulty. Take a look at this figure. This shows you the balance between skill and challenge that is necessary to enter flow. If someone challenges something at a lower skill level than their skill level, unable to find any enjoyment in the task, they will become bored. On the other hand, if they challenge something at a level too far above their skill level, convinced of their imminent failure and unable to concentrate, they will become anxious. To put it shortly, one cannot achieve happiness when in a bored or anxious state, which is why challenge-centered focus is about accurately understanding your abilities, gaining control over them, and setting up clear, suitable goals for yourself. That is how you can immerse yourself in a flow state. It is in such moments that mankind takes new steps forward and push themselves up to even higher heights. Meaning, plays that may seem like miracles to others are in fact brought about by your individual state of flow. However, that is no easy feat. In our society, people cannot become easily immersed in something. Your everyday life, overflowing with a constant stream of information and entertainment, is an infinite hell designed to distract you from your boredom and anxiety. Perhaps you could say that it's easy to become immersed in your smartphone screen, and indeed, you'll be able to forget about both time and yourself with that. However, that is not a unique state of immersion that you actively obtained for yourself. Something as passive as that cannot be called ego. That exhilaration of scoring a goal, that elation of obtaining a new weapon, that happiness which belongs only to you, you've all experienced it already, so you understand, don't you? That is ego. And Blue Lock is a place where only those who can leave the beaten path, where only those who can immerse themselves in football can survive. Now think back, you unpolished gems, on the meaning behind everything that you've experienced at Blue Lock, on how you've all evolved up to this point. You've accumulated your small victories, explored yourselves, experienced the world, and realized just how powerless you are. The objective of winning against the Japan under-20 team, does it make you bored? Does it make you anxious? No. I'm sure you understand by now. The door to victory against the under-20 team will only open in the day of the match. The 11 players from Blue Lock that stand on the field enter the flow state. Now it's time to get ready, Team Blue Lock. By the time this final training camp ends, Blue Lock will have a team that will destroy Japanese football and become the egoists of a new era. The world awaits your goals. So as you can see, Kenpachi Ego pretty much just outlines exactly how to enter the flow state. You need to find a way within your goals to challenge yourself while at the same time not pushing yourself to a point where, you're completely defeated, right? You don't want to be a defeatist, but you don't want it to be so easy that you get bored. And what I found really interesting is recently I read this book called Atomic Habits by James Clear, and in the book he talks about the Goldilocks rule, and so I'll read that as well. Clear says, the Goldilocks rule states that humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks that are right on the edge of their current abilities, not too hard, not too easy, just right. And he gives the example of a comedian. So Martin's comedy career is an excellent example of the Goldilocks rule in practice. Each year, he expanded his comedy routine, but only by a minute or two. He was always adding new material, but he also kept a few jokes that were guaranteed to get laughs. There were just enough victories to keep him motivated and just enough mistakes to keep him working hard. And there's this article by Joshua Gold and Joseph Siorin, who looked further into these ideas of flow that were presented by a previous psychologist. I can't really say his name because I can't pronounce it. And that psychologist came up with a different model than egos, right? Obviously, Blue Lock is a manga, so they're probably not thinking of it as from a psychology level, but ego's model has only 3 states. There's anxiety, flow, and boredom. Whereas the psychological model has 8 different states based on challenge level and skill level, ranging from boredom, apathy, worry, anxiety, arousal, flow, control, and relaxation. They also list out 9 components that are necessary to experience the flow state. Number 1, having clear goals. 2, high level of concentration and a high degree of concentration on a limited field of attention. 3, a loss of the feeling of self-consciousness, the merging of action and awareness. 4, distorted sense of time. One's subjective experience of time is altered. 5, clear and immediate feedback. 6, balance between skill level and challenge. 7, a sense of personal control over the situation or activity. 8, the activity is intrinsically rewarding, so there's an effortlessness of action. 9, people become absorbed in their activity and the focus of alertness is narrowed down. And I think what's so interesting about all of this is that we already know all these things, right? These ideas are not new. They're things that we already know, right? For example, when you're reading a book, you can enter this flow state very easily. If it's a book that you like and you enjoy and you are into. But if you're reading something for a class, let's say I remember we had to read, Hamlet and all these different books in English class in high school, and I just did not like to read them. I think a part of it is because it was not your intrinsic goal to read that book in whatever class, that it became difficult to do. I'll give you another quick example from my own life. So I play a lot of video games, and one of my favorite games is Valorant. And I recently had to give up Valorant because I just could not keep playing it at the rate that I was and continue to enjoy. So my goal in Valorant was to hit platinum. So I'm a peak, about silver 3 player. I think my account's peak is like gold, but that was not me playing on the account, to be honest. So I'm a silver level player. My objective is to hit platinum by the end of the season, and it's definitely a possible thing that people have done. People have gone from bronze all the way up to the maximum rank. It's just, for me, the challenge level would be at medium to high, right? The challenge level is medium to high, but my skill level as a silver player is low to medium. So that goal would have fallen within either anxiety or arousal. That doesn't mean you can't enjoy these things, right? If you're playing a video game with your friends, of course you're going to enjoy it. It's just from a goal setting and goal hitting perspective, it's going to be very difficult for me to hit a flow state and really purely enjoy myself and immerse myself in what I'm doing if I'm not at that critical point where I'm at high skill and high challenge. And so I'm going to end this video by saying, check your own goals and see where they align. Do you enter the flow state in your goals and the things that you enjoy doing? And if you don't, maybe question why that is. Question, maybe you need to up the challenge. Maybe you need to lower the challenge. Maybe it's just not something that you are enjoying intrinsically. So just look introspectively, and obviously all the links are going to be in the description. You can go and read these things for yourself, do your own research. And yeah, if you liked the video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.